Hello everyone! The clip you're about to hear is from one of our exclusive Patreon episodes on a recent horror release, and just like all of our other episodes, it might include major spoilers for said horror release, so don't listen to it if you haven't already seen it. You've officially been warned. And if you'd like to hear the full episode, just head on over to patreon.com/horrorqueers and subscribe today. Without further ado, here is your exclusive Patreon clip. Joe, I had a blast watching this movie. I not only screamed out loud once, and it wasn't like a oh, it was like a oh, oh, oh. It was one of those screams. But also at the climactic, she's begging for her life to the killer thing, I actually started getting choked up to the point where I had to pause the movie because I couldn't read the subtitles because the tears were clouding my vision.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, maybe we can speak about that more next month in a different mini-sode. But yeah, I'm really happy to hear that you had such a good experience, because I think that this is probably one of the most visceral experiences that I've had watching a horror film, honestly, in quite some time. I found it very difficult not to be both moved by this film, but also just it's the kind of film where I was pulling my legs up off the floor because I was so fucking tense at a couple of different points.
Yeah, no, absolute same. I mean, it's interesting you say visceral because it's not a particularly violent or gory movie, but the basic premise, which again is just a serial killer stalks a deaf woman through the streets of South Korea. It's a thing where I was like, well, there's no way this can fill an hour and 45 minutes. And every time you think that this script has written itself into a corner, or you're like, well, where is it going to go? It goes somewhere often completely unexpected, to the point where I was like, well, I don't know if I would call this whole movie a chase scene, but I kind of would. And I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this. I mean, Joe, I have a bunch of, bulleted notes, and probably 60% of them begin with OMG.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was one of the things that I appreciated so much about this movie. I've talked before at length, often, about my appreciation for women in peril films. It feeds into my love of erotic thrillers. See previous episode, Deep Water. And this feels like a bit of a throwback to that kind of 90s sensibility where it's like, oh, okay, we take a person with a disability and then we throw her into danger. But this film feels so much more propulsive and aware of the limitations of what we would have seen in the past.
Atlas Avenue, a long stretch of road that encompasses everything the city of Kennett Heights has to offer. Neon lights, traffic, crime, the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and the craziest of characters. My office was above it all. My name is James Locke, and I'm a PI.
Hello, Mr. J. How the hell you doing today?
Good, Edith. Nearly every year I have a new case. New people to meet, new clues to discover, and new problems to solve. But I do it the old-fashioned way. No technology. Nothing post-1950. Hell, I don't even listen to podcasts, but you should. Atlas Avenue Beat is a spoof of the film noir genre with goofy characters, tons of wordplay, and non-stop raunchy humor. There's also 3 whole seasons out right now with more on the way. Just search for Atlas Avenue Beat wherever you listen to podcasts or visit us online at bloody.fm.
Hello, I'm Shelby Scott, the host of Scare You to Sleep, a podcast where I tell you spooky bedtime stories full of creepy sound effects and music that is soothing yet unsettling to help immerse you into a world of horror. This is a show for those of us who have realized horror can be a strange but relaxing escape from reality. Speaking of escapes, sometimes I lead you through guided nightmares, like a guided meditation, but instead of flowery meadows, I take you on a journey through your own personal nightmare. So come get lost in the terror with me. Listen to Scare You to Sleep wherever you listen to podcasts, or find us online at bloody.fm. Sweet screams.